Hey guys, just wanted to make a quick video for everybody. Can't find much guidance besides one person on eBay about these Atlas lathes or Craftsman lathes. This is a Craftsman 12 by 36 inch lathe. The model is a 101 28 910. Sold by Sears Roebuck, obviously. I apologize for my camera not focusing, but I really wanted to share this because this is my third lathe that I've bought, and I wish I knew what I was looking for when I bought one of these lathes. So, I just wanted to start out by telling you something really important if you really want to get into this hobby. I'm very new to it. I don't know much about it, but this is my third lathe that I've bought. I keep finding good deals on them, and I wanted to share a few things with y'all. So, before we start, before I knew anything about lathes, this right here is the money maker on the lathe. This is the quick change gear set. You can make your threads. You can change your feed rate on your cross slide here for turning down and facing things. It's really important. It's really easy and really nice to have. I'll show you my first lathe that I had that I'm selling to a buddy. This one does not have it. This one you have to change these gears out physically to get the feed rate right. It's kind of a pain, to be honest with you, especially if you're new to it and don't know anything about it. Now I will tell you, this is the second lathe I've had that is identical to this 12 by 36. That was my first. I bought another one identical to this one, and I sold that one to a buddy for the exact same price I bought it for, and he got a good deal out of it. I bought this one for $200. I bought a one identical to this one for $200, and I bought this one for $500. And I really didn't come out that much further ahead. Besides, I did get a self-centering chuck out of this one, and I got a 4-jaw chuck, so that's really nice. I got that out of it. And also, I got a quick change tool post. So these are the things you have to look out for when you're buying these lathes. I bought this for $500. That may be too much money. It may be. And anybody else's opinion. I'm down in West Texas. Things are expensive. When you find a deal, you jump on it. So, I bought it for $500. So let's just say that's an average price for these. I know these quick change gear sets go for way too much money on eBay. I've seen them from $200 to $500 on eBay. Blows my mind. Blows my mind how much they're worth. So keep that in mind. Those are expensive. So you need to check the gears on them when you buy them. Another thing. We're going to start with the motor. The last one, the motor was burnt out on my last one. So I ended up spending $110 on a motor on my last lathe. So I bought it for $300 or $200, I don't remember, and I had $110 into it because I bought a Harbor Freight motor. This one is running, but it gets warm quick, so it's probably going to need a rebuild. So a few things to look out for. When you go to pick up the lathe, start the lathe. Have the owner start the lathe and have him play with it and test everything. Don't just assume everything's in good shape. I mean, these lathes can start to nickel and dime you. Motor. Make sure it's in good shape. Run it for a while. Make sure it's in good shape. You're going to waste your money on getting it rebuilt or getting another one. Unless the price is right, then obviously it's a different story. So we're going to work our way from the lathe, from back, all the way up and down. So another thing, this is how you change your speeds, as with your belts here. So where my finger is at, this is your slowest, or excuse me, your fastest, all the way up to your slowest. Same thing here. Where it comes down to the motor, this is going to be your fastest speed and your slower speed. There's 2 pulleys on each one here. Something to check out for is wear on this shaft that goes on this 12 by 36. These are not bearings, these are brass. They're brass bearings. There's no roller bearings, there's no steel ball bearings. It's just brass. You need to oil these daily. You have to. It's really neglected. If you can see just the tip of my finger, you can see the oiler. It's hidden in there. You have to oil it daily or it's going to wear out. The last lathe I had, it was wore plumb out. It was tired. So keep an eye on that. Plus, another plus here is having the covers. My last lathe had no covers on it. This one's missing one that goes over this belt pulley, but this one has these two, which is a big plus. It's nice. It adds value to it. It keeps any oil, grease, belt, whatever from flying out everywhere. So remember, this adds value to it. So keep that in mind. A lot of these lathes are missing those. This is your forward and reverse switch. These are actually, I've seen them go for eBay from $25 to $75. They're kind of pricey little guys. There's a Dayton. If you decide to rewire this, pay attention. Because the last one I tried to rewire, I took the wires off without paying attention. And I could not figure out how to rewire it. And it took me forever. So keep an eye on that. This is a plus. It's already got it on there. Forward and reverse works. That's a plus. And it works great. Another thing to look out for. We're going to work our way to the side of the lathe. Let me turn this light on so you can see better. The ballast is out, so it's kind of loud. So, these are ZMAC gears. Look for wear. You're going to have wear on the tailstock gear here. You're going to have a lot of wear on these, I'm not going to lie. I haven't bought one that doesn't have very much wear. Do not assume that when you get this lathe that the gear mesh is correct. Do not assume that they're ready to go. All these gears are too tight. A couple of them are too loose, and they sounded like a train coming down the tracks. They were so tight, and it really kills the wear. You've got to oil these daily. You're not going to be able to over oil them. Oil the living hell out of them. It's the same thing with the gear set. Quick change gear set. Oil it. Keep them oiled. Keep them nice, and keep them clean too. They get a lot of grime. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 oil spots on the quick change gear set. Oil those daily as well. This here, this changes your gears to forward and reverse and neutral. So that's a plus. Do not change it while the lathe is moving. It'll shred the gears up. So once again, keep an eye on how bad a shape or good a shape the gears are in. You're going to know right off the bat. If they're really pointy, they're really worn. You can buy these gears on eBay, I'm pretty sure. So just keep an eye on that. So we're going to move our way over to the lathe here. And these are your headstock bearings. I like to take the lathe and move this and see if it's got any play in it. But this one doesn't, which is nice. You need to oil these bearings daily. Oil here, oil here. Check your back gears. They're very rarely used on some of these. Once again, my camera sucks at focusing because it's crap, but these don't have very much wear. Look at those as well. To engage a quick change gear set, I won't go into detail too much, but you're going to pull this out. Do not start the lathe. Before you pull that out and get these and get these gears matched up, there's a tab in here that you need to pull out. So these two gears here will run separately. This will unlock this gear from this pulley drive. You have to do that. It will not work if you do not. So keep an eye on that. Here's another oil spot. It's a screw. You'll take that out, throw oil down there for the spindle inside. Now we're going to move on to the ways. These are flat ways. In my opinion, and probably every person's opinion, flat ways are the crappiest ways you can get, meaning these where your cross slide sits on. Don't know the correct nomenclature for it, but where this sits. They're flat. They're not V. Look for wear right here. You can see there's wear. You can see right here a chuck has fell. The chucks fell here. Keep an eye on that. If it's really, really bad, you know, it's kind of worthless to get the lathe that's tapped out. It's just from lack of oiling, really. There's shims underneath this. They're brass shims, and you can take them out and tighten it up a little bit. But you're going to realize that as you wind this down, it's going to get tighter and tighter because there's less wear down here. All your work, most of your work is done right here. So a lot of your wear is going to be within, from the tailstock, 1 foot from the tailstock roughly, back, maybe a little bit more. Your feed screw here, you're going to look for wear on this. These are starting to get pretty sharp. It's about 8 inches, 6 inches. This is where all your work's done. So there's going to have a lot of wear in this feed screw. You can see back here, probably not on my camera, it's in a lot better shape because it's barely used. Now I do have a lot of cleaning to do on this lathe. I just got it, and this is after I cleaned it. So imagine how bad it was before. Clean them up. I got excited. I cleaned it up. I oiled it real quick just to test it out, and I'm going to finish cleaning it. Also, this is the second lathe I've got, and I've hurt myself loading these. The first one fell on my leg, and this one barely tipped. It was just sitting on the trailer, just so you see it without the table, tipped, and these are facing down, and it broke these. These are $75 a piece on eBay. This one and this one. So that's great. I just lost money on this lathe. So don't neglect it. It's not bulletproof. Be careful when you load them. Have help. They're really top heavy if they're on a table, obviously. Things to look for when you buy a lathe and to add to the value to it. 3-jaw chuck. This is a self-centering. Needs to have you want to have a chuck with it. So make sure you got a chuck, a tool post of some sort. This is a Chinese quick change tool post. Probably $100, give or take a few. That's nice to have. Some of these lathes may have a lantern tool post, which I do not have to show you what that looks like. But make sure you have a tool post. Make sure you have a tailstock. For centering your work, for drilling. Some basic tooling you look for is a centering bearing here. Morse taper number 2 chuck. Carbide tooling. The more tooling, the better. That's what nickels and dimes you on these lathes is the tooling. So keep an eye out for the tooling. When you buy these lathes, the more tooling, the better deal you're going to get. So once you go to buy this stuff, you just buy a bare bones lathe, you're going to have more money in tooling than it's really worth. I got lucky. These are 3 lathes I bought, and I've got to keep some stuff. I got a 4-jaw chuck now, self-centering chuck, live center, a little bit of tooling with it. Some pretty good deals on that, I guess. So once again, tooling is really, really, really important. If you can try to get tooling from the guy that you buy it from, it really will help you out because it is expensive. I'm not going to go into too much more detail because I don't know much about him, but if you want to know a lot more, there's a guy on YouTube. His name is Tubal Cain, and he's taught me a lot, but I just wanted to show everyone because I've been looking up things on what to look for when I buy these, and I can't find much. So these aren't the most high quality lathes. I'll tell you that right now. They feed too quick. You can't see it on my camera, but it really leaves a rough finish on steel. On brass, it doesn't do bad. Bronze, it doesn't do bad. Aluminum, it doesn't do bad. But this cross feed goes too quick. No matter, even if you're on your slowest speed, no matter what you do, it's kind of rough. Tubal Cain has a motor you can put here, how he set it up with the rheostat to slow this cross feed down, and I guess it works really nice. So if you have any questions, or if you have any maybe answers to help me out with the lathe, I'd really greatly appreciate it. Any advice for me, or maybe you want to ask me for some advice and you're really new to it too. Once again, this is my 3rd one I bought, and I just kind of keep upgrading slowly. Just let me know. I appreciate you watching. Thank you.